Heyo, Hudson here with Planet 4 Gaming. I'm flying the F-86F-30, aka the Japanese Sabre. This is one of those planes that it kind of gets proposed that it's the best plane in the game by a large quantity of people. I don't know if that's really true. I would say the US Sabres, the CL, and the MiG-15 BIS all have a shot at that title. But I don't have any experience with any of those planes. This is the only real high-end jet I have. So yeah, I can't make an informed decision on that. But I will say, from flying up against those planes and flying with the US Sabres, obviously, that this is definitely competitive with them. It's up there. And yeah, all around it's a good plane. Much better than the LA-15, the only other, I don't want to say high-end, because it's not really competitive, but it's the only other late-game jet that I have experience with, and it's just not competitive with the Sabres. It's only really useful against Panthers and vampires consistently, and I haven't seen a vampire in a while, so yeah. Basically the arch nemesis of the Panther. But enough of that, we're focusing on the Sabre here. What do I like about it? Well, when you're going up against MiGs, you'll obviously have a big advantage in speed that you can use. And when you're going up against CL-13s, you've got a slight advantage in turn time, I think. At least it seems that way from my experience. And yeah, you can kind of adapt your playstyle based on what plane you're going up against. And I guess that's kind of nice. But yeah, the biggest advantage for the most part is in raw speed. Against the MiG-15s, you are obviously inferior when it comes to turn time and climb rate, and firepower as well. And not to diss the M3 Browning 6-pack, but in a head-to-head, if the MiG gets a solid shot on you, you're most likely dead. And with the Sabre's machine gun armament, that is almost never the case. You really need to line up a shot and get a few rounds in there. I have default ammo, by the way. I have unlocked fuselage repair, so it's not like this plane is completely stock, but I think it would have probably been a good idea to research the new ammo belts modification for this thing. It didn't seem at first like default was all that bad, but Universal does have a lot more incendiary rounds instead of armor piercing, and obviously in these type of games, you get most of your kills from setting the enemy on fire, not from piercing their armor, whatever that's supposed to do to a fighter. So yeah, the ammo belts might be a good research thing to start out with, because this plane performs very well stock, I must say. You don't feel like you're at a disadvantage at all. It really feels like this plane can compete right after buying it, which is pretty nice, because I tend to hear a lot that stock planes have a really bad grind where you really need to spade them to be competitive. But yeah, that's not the case with this plane. So here I'm in a full game. Obviously not much was happening there at the beginning. I did a quick head-to-head with a MiG. Obviously not really trying to get the kill. I'm just trying to stay out of his guns and maybe get a lucky hit. And that didn't happen, so no big deal. There's an LA-15 on my tail right now. He has absolutely no chance of catching up to a Sabre. No chance in hell. I don't know why he's bothering to chase me. I guess the one thing he did accomplish was keeping me away from the rest of his friends, but he wasn't going to get a kill there, so a very selfless act there, LA-15. But anyway, after clearing enough distance from that LA-15, I'm able to go into the vertical, get around him, and head back into the fight. So we've got a couple MiG-15s, a 163 over here, and I'm just going to try and line up a shot on one of them. Can't make it, so I just keep going straight, keep the LA-15 at a good distance, and hopefully I'll be able to set up a more effective run. So my team's mostly F9Fs, which is usually a bad thing because they're not too competitive with the MiG-15 and CL, but they've been doing a pretty fair job of not getting clubbed, so I gotta congratulate them on that at least. And that Panther's keeping the LA-15 off of me, so he's doing a good job as well. All around, my team is holding together pretty well, and can't ask for more than that. So I see a 163 on my guy over here, and I figure that's a good way to lend a hand. The 163 tends to be a hard plane to hit because it's very small, and it does a lot of really sharp maneuvers. But after he's following my guy into the vertical, he's losing a lot of speed, and he's lost a lot of situational awareness, so I'm able to just line up right like that, get the pilot kill, no problemo. That was honestly pretty easy. He made it easy for me, going into a loop like that. So that's one down. I see another 163 over here, and I'm ready to go fuck him up too, so just gaining speed, bringing it down almost over 1,000 kilometers per hour, which the Sabre can handle no problem. Really closing the distance fast, and in a few seconds I'll be within firing range. Unfortunately, the 163 sees me coming, and he's able to evade quite easily. I mean, I'm not going to be able to follow him through that maneuver, so I'm just going to climb really quickly, bleed off a lot of speed, and replace it with altitude. And I can just turn around, set up another attack run. But my friends have taken care of him pretty quickly. Not bad. We got some fucking MLG Panthers on this team. So I see this LA-15 that had been harassing me earlier, but he's getting fucking gang raped. There's jets all over him, so I'll be lucky to get within firing range by the time he's dead. And he's close, but I'm not going to do any wild maneuvers to keep up with him. No point in that. MiG-15 up above as well. Gotta look out for that. So I'm gaining altitude again. Really, the thing about flying the Sabre is you have to have a lot of patience, since it's not a real dogfighter. I mean, it's fairly maneuverable for these kind of jets, better than the CL, like I said earlier, but it's really more of a boom and zoom style fighter. It's big advantages in speed, so you don't want to get yourself in close to an enemy at low speed when he can easily turn on you. You just do quick, like, swooping passes, get your shots off. Hopefully you had a good line of sight on the enemy and were able to do some real damage. And maybe if you crit them in a way that lowers their maneuverability, you can actually dogfight with them. So, the last MiG on their team has been very cowardly. He didn't help his friend back there, and he went down. So there's just one MiG left, and we have him vastly outnumbered. Even if we only have 2 Sabres, which are the real competitor with the MiG, we've got so many fucking Panthers and a Meteor thrown in there that he's got absolutely no chance. But that's what you get for not helping your team when they need it. You end up last guy on your team with no kills and wondering what the fuck happened. So I managed to spot him. He's at a similar altitude to me. and I'm just gonna go head over there and try and fuck him up. He's turned around and now we're closing fast. He's going underneath, not trying to do a head-to-head, which is probably what I would have done in that scenario, because fuck it, I'm the last guy, might as well try and get a kill. But he does do a head-to-head with that Meteor and managed to crit him, which is not bad. Meteor's got quite a fearsome 4 Hispano armament. Take some long-range shots with the M3 Brownings. Get a decent hit. While I follow him through that loop, I get kind of wild with the shooting, so obviously no hits there. But he's distracted by the Meteor, he's slightly damaged. I'm pretty confident I can outfly this guy. Follow him through that loop, get a few more hits. Basically, when you don't have a obvious great shot with the machine guns, you gotta do short controlled bursts and slowly chip away at them until you can set up a decent shot. But here's where he fucks up. He takes it into the vertical. I'm easily able to follow him. He's lost a lot of speed and he just presents me the easiest target in the world. Just spray it like it's a fucking garden hose and pilot kill. He's, I assume, been turned into ground beef inside his cockpit. Yeah, there's not much left of him. And that's it. Pretty solid game in the F-30 Sabre. I've never gotten more than 2 kills in a game in this plane, which is not fantastic for me. But these late game jet matches tend to be that way, you know. Whatever, fuck it. I've gotten 2 kills in a game. So hopefully that gave you a decent idea of how to fly the Sabre. I'm not an expert in this plane at all. I've got some 20-something kills, I don't know exactly. But yeah, I don't consider myself an expert when it comes to Tier 5 jet matches. But I can do alright, and I figured I should do a video on this plane. I've had it long enough. I've had this plane for a long fucking time, several months, and haven't even tried to do a video on it. So it was time. Maybe later as I get better, I'll try to do more. But no guarantees. But that should be about it. If you've got any questions, leave them below. I'll do my best to answer them. But until then, this has been Hudson with P4G. Thank you for watching, and as always, get the fuck out of here.